Hello everyone, welcome to GametechUK and a video looking at some goodies sent through for my racing rig from the lovely people at Fanatec. So I was sent these absolutely free of charge to review and use on the channel going forward. Also, for full transparency, I will put a link to these products in the description, and if you want to check them out and you go through and eventually purchase, they will give me a very small kickback on the channel at no extra cost to you. With all that being said, let's get on with today's video. Before we get the new pedals out, let's have a look and see what they're replacing. Currently, I'm using the CSL pedals with the Load Cell Brake Edition. These are a all steel construction, very cheap and reasonable for what you get. They work absolutely perfect, and I'm looking forward to seeing what improvements these V2's will make over the CSL pedals. So here's the V2's. It's quite a plain box actually. There's not much going on in the way of advertising or information on the box, but once we open up the several flaps there, we can see in a removable bag is the V2 pedal set. Then we get to see what the V2's look like in person. This is an all aluminium metal finish, and it's been powder coated with this sort of high grip all over uniform grey sort of matte black look, and considering that we do use our feet to control the pedals, there's no high gloss surfaces to keep clean. As we turn the pedals round, this is where you can see the load cell unit. This, along with the brake and the clutch, is all done through Hall sensors, so there's no mechanical positioning. It's all done through magnetics, which means that there's nothing to wear out, so everything's going to be precise and long lasting. Also, important to note that the V2's come fully assembled like this. You don't have to assemble everything. Everything is there and already plugged in, ready to go. In a race car, or indeed any car, there's a certain amount of play when you first press the brake pedal. While you're pressing it down, those pads have got to be clamped onto the disc, and there's a certain softness until you really start to take hold, and then it becomes stiff. Well, you can replicate that here on the V2's with their elastomer. The B2 washer is the elastomer. That's what covers the soft biting point to start with. After that, we've got 6 different adjustments in B3 and B4. These can be used to stiffen up or loosen the actual load cell itself. All of this is toolless using the orange elements in B1. That level of adjustment just wasn't available in the CSL pedal set that I'm replacing. That was one load cell and one setting, so there's a great advantage with the V2's already. Saying that, I will leave this completely standard for at least the first couple of weeks, just to get an idea of where I am with the pedal set, to know what I want to change. Included in the box is 2 cables. The first is an RJ12 cable. Now this can be used to connect the pedal set to the rear of the base unit steering wheel. That way it can work on PC, it can work on console, everything's fine. The next is a USB cable. Now you're going to need to do this if you want to update the firmware. That can only be done via USB. You can, if you want to, if you're only playing it on PC, you can connect this up to USB and use the connection that way. But it's most important to note, please don't connect both up at the same time. So don't leave the RJ12 plugged in if you're doing your firmware. You'll put extra voltage into the control unit and probably break it. Connecting the pedal set up to the rig was an absolute breeze. They must be the exact same dimensions as the previous CSL pedals because I didn't need to adjust anything. They just went in. The only thing I would say is it doesn't come with any bolts, so you will need to find your own. I'm just using what I was already using for the previous CSL pedals. But as you can see, everything's in there. It looks really great, all black or grey, rather than the steel that was on show in the previous CSL. And I'm really happy with the way it looks and feels. The pedal set is very comfortable to use. In fact, the accelerator is a lot smoother on the V2's than it is on the previous CSL that I replaced it with. In fact, that was a small gripe with that set. If you was getting excited with the accelerator pedal, you would hear this constant banging on the steel frame. This is a lot quieter and a lot smoother. You can also see that biting point, that initial biting point on the brake pedal in demonstration here. But it's a lovely pedal set, and I really can't wait to get used to it and see if there is any modifications or changes that I need to make to the load cell. To get the maximum out of these pedals, I really do recommend that you only purchase them if you're putting them up to a racing rig. I can't imagine that these will work very well on a floor or a carpet or a wooden floor, for example. They need quite a bit of force to press that brake fully down, depending on how you've got it set up, and I think you'd be permanently moving them around. So really, a racing rig would be ideal. The next addition to my racing rig is the ClubSport Formula V2.5X. This is an absolutely stunning wheel once you get it out of the box. It's also made of solid carbon fibre. The actual front plate is real carbon fibre and the shifters are made from aluminium, and it's got genuine Alcantara grips as well. It truly is an absolutely lovely looking wheel. Of course, being a Formula wheel, this predominantly is designed for single-seater F1 style racing, but I'm quite versatile with my equipment and I don't like to just pigeonhole it for that one particular task. So I'm going to give this a go in GT3 racing in ACC as well. There's only one slight downside to that. The diameter is quite a bit smaller to the McLaren GT3 wheel. This doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but it does make a difference. But hopefully it will be totally fine with GT3 racing. Included in the box are some button caps. So if you want to get rid of that console look and replace your A, B, your X and your Y button, you can actually replace those with icons that correspond to, say, your windscreen wipers, your handbrake or your pit limiter. I've also got the metal quick release system as well, and this is so much better than the plastic quick release that come with the Gran Turismo wheel. If you're going to be swapping your wheels a lot, then this really is the way to go. Now the wheel I've got here is Xbox compatible, which is great because I've got the DD Pro, which is a PlayStation base unit, so effectively I can use this on all three platforms. If you are Xbox only, this is the only Formula wheel that is Xbox compatible. There's two other Formula wheels, but they're both PC and PlayStation, so if you're on Xbox and you want a Formula wheel, this is the one to go for. Another comparison to the McLaren GT3 rim is that the V2.5 is a lot slimmer and a lot sleeker. So here's just a short clip of using the wheel. Of course, this is more of an unboxing video and I will be using this on live streams in future races, but I just thought I'd give you a brief idea of what the wheel looks like in action. You can see the LED rev range working absolutely perfectly. I've also assigned some of the dials on the steering wheel for traction control and ABS. It works absolutely fine, as you can see, in ACC, and of course it'll be even more suited to F1. Another great addition to this wheel is the digital flag system. You can see we're in ACC, we're just about to go over the start line and the green flag is now flashing on the steering wheel, as obviously of course in game. This will work for yellow flags, blue flags. It's just a really informative and immersive way to use the steering wheel. So there you go everyone, I hope you found this video informative if you have been thinking of upgrading to these products, or indeed if you've never even heard of these products. I hope you found the video useful and informative. That is it everyone, have a lovely day and I will see you in the next one.